Halo semuanya. Tepuk tangan dulu boleh biar kita semangat hari ini. Oke, welcome back to Ad America. Ada yang baru pertama kali hadir di sini hari ini? Oh, semuanya adalah pengunjung setia. Oke, welcome back to Ad America. For those of you just here for the first time today, welcome. So aku mau menjelaskan sedikit tentang ETA Amerika. ETA Amerika is the American Center, di mana kita di sini langsung dibawahi oleh Kedutaan Besar Amerika Serikat yang ada di Jakarta. Kita di sini berusaha untuk membagikan seputar informasi mengenai Amerika Serikat melalui event-event kita. Nah, aku mau kasih tahu a glimpse of our upcoming events. Nah, ceritanya nih teman-teman, bukan ceritanya. Di bulan ini kita merayakan ulang tahun ETA Amerika yang ke-9. Boleh tepuk tangan, jadi sudah 9 tahun lah ETA Amerika berdiri. Nah, kita mengadakan Passport to Prizes. Nah, Passport to Prizes ini akan berakhir tanggal 5 Januari. Passport to Prizes seperti apa? Jadi bentuknya seperti pasport. Nanti di dalamnya akan ada 10 kotak yang harus dikoleksi oleh 10 stamps. 10 stamp bisa didapat dari setelah teman-teman mengikuti event di ETA Amerika atau setelah teman-teman mengikuti games-games yang ada di ETA Amerika setiap hari Minggu dan hari Senin. Dan tentunya setelah mendapatkan 10 stamp nanti pasportnya bisa ditukarkan ke member booth untuk mendapatkan merchandise eksklusif dari ETA Amerika. Nah, ini gratis, jadi buat teman-teman yang tertarik nanti setelah acara ini boleh langsung minta pasportnya di area member booth yang dibantu oleh teman-teman IGAT yang ada di sana. Yes, and next we're going to have a movie screening. Jadi mulai besok di tanggal 12, 13, dan 14 Global Migration Film Festival. Jadi buat teman-teman semua yang mau tahu jadwal lengkapnya, filmnya ada apa aja, bisa langsung ke website kita di www.etamerika.or.id. Nah, di sini kita juga ada Education USA buat teman-teman yang belum tahu atau yang sudah tahu, aku hanya sedikit mengingatkan buat kalian yang punya rencana untuk melanjutkan studi kalian di Amerika Serikat, tapi kalian bingung meminta bimbingan siapa, bisa langsung datang ke ETA Amerika karena kita punya Education USA, kita punya 2 advisor yang setia hadir di sini melayani teman-teman semua. Mereka ada di sini setiap hari dari hari Senin sampai hari Minggu karena kita juga buka setiap hari dari Senin sampai hari Minggu dari jam 1 siang sampai jam 9 malam. As if for every Saturday we are very special, we're open for 11 hours from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. And these are the highlights of our events that happen in ETA Amerika and how to stay updated with our upcoming events. Aku mau ngajak teman-teman semua untuk jadi member kita. Caranya gampang banget. Please visit our website at www.adamerica.or.id. Click register, Facebook connect, just simply fill your full name and your active email. As register as our member, you will get our newsletter once per week through your email about our upcoming events so you're not gonna miss out. Nah, kita juga sangat active in our social media, jangan lupa untuk share semua experience kalian ketika kalian di sini. Jangan lupa di Insta Story, jangan lupa di tweet, jangan lupa juga di mention ke kita @amerika and pakai hashtagnya juga #@amerika. Oke, nah langsung saja kita akan mulai eventnya. Aku akan panggil MC kita pada siang hari ini. Tepuk tangan untuk Mbak Uut from YCSEA Academy.
Okay, thank you so much, Kak Vivi, for having opened the stage. And good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to hear your voice louder and louder, okay? Thank you so much for coming, and it's nice to see you all again today to our events. Welcome to ETA America, and welcome to our last coaching class, which is part of Young Changemakers Social Enterprise Academy 2.0 Female Sociotechpreneur Edition. Okay, my name is Uut, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all. And today we are going to have our last coaching class with Alpha JWC Ventures again and another very amazing startup, STOQO. So please give applause for our speakers from STOQO that have come today. Okay, I'd like to also welcome our friends from American Corners. I don't know if we have connected with them. Today we are having our friends from Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. Hello everyone, good afternoon. Okay, thank you. And then the second one, we have American Corners from Universitas Tanjung Pura Pontianak. Good afternoon. Hi. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. And also, we are live streaming on Facebook. And yes, we are live streaming on Facebook and Twitter at America. So those who are watching there, I'd like to say happy watching. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now I'd like to explain to you. Okay, I'd like to explain to you briefly before we start the coaching class about YCSEA Academy 2.0. So this is a program initiated by @America and campaign.com as part of the campaign of Be Sociopreneur to encourage and increase YCSEA members' skills in the field of social enterprise. And today, this year, we are having the second edition as we have conducted the first edition last year. And then for the topic itself is the female socio-techpreneur. We are encouraging female Indonesian girls and women to become socio-techpreneurs. And then I'd like to thank our awesome partners who are partnering with us in this program, in this YCSEA Academy. The first one is YCSEA, and then the second one is Alpha JWC Ventures, and then our bootcamp partner, SIAP, or Social Innovation Acceleration Program, and then our community partners, Girls in Tech Indonesia, Kinara and Exidik, and also our media partners, Good News from Indonesia, HIPWI, Medcom Adi, Altimex, UMN TV, Kompas.com, Metro TV, and Pop FM. Okay, now this is the timeline of YCSEA Academy 2.0. We have kicked off our event, or our YCSE, on October 24, 2019, and we are still receiving submissions until January 15, 2020. So for you who want to join us or apply for this program, please apply and prepare your application very well, because we are going to select only 10 participants to join the rest of the YCSE program. And then, what will the participants get from this program? We have 4 coaching classes, and then today is the last one. So I'd like to say thank you so much for coming again. And for you who consistently come, I'd like to say thank you very much. And then there will be also a boot camp for the 10 selected teams, and this will be held in Jakarta. And we are partnering with SIAP and also Impact Byte. And on the last day of the boot camp, all the 10 participants or all the 10 teams will have an opportunity to present their business ideas to our partners here. And then finally, they will have a special occasion to launch their product at America here. So it's very rare and amazing opportunity for Indonesian youth to start their social enterprise and make a good impact to the society. So please everyone give applause for this very amazing program. Okay, now we are going, in a few minutes, we are going to start the coaching class. Here today, we are having amazing speakers from STOQO and also from Alpha JWC Ventures. So, and by the end of the coaching class, we will have a quiz for you here and also for our friends in American Corners. So I'd like to remind you to please pay full attention to the speakers and to their explanation, so you will be able to join the quiz later and get a special gifts from YCSE team. Okay, before we start, I'd like to explain about what you will learn from the coaching class itself. So in the coaching class, basically you will learn about 4 things from STOQO. Of course, we are going to learn how they build their enterprise, and then how they make their prototype product and communicate it to the market. And also we are going to learn about their social impact that STOQO has given to the public in Indonesia, and also how they get investment from Alpha JWC Ventures. And then we are going to make this coaching class more interactive. So please everyone connect with us through Mentimeter. You can also give questions through @America Twitter and also to campaign application. Now we are having the worksheet for you. And for you who want to join YCSE, this worksheet you should collect to us before January 15, 2020. And you can download the worksheet on this link. Okay, now it's time for us to start the coaching class. I'd like to invite the speakers, all the three speakers one by one to join with me on the stage. So the first one is, please give applause to Shirley Marcelina. Okay, as you can see on the slides, she's the head of commercial development in STOQO, a B2B marketplace for small culinary business in Indonesia, and they help a small culinary business to bulk source raw materials at reasonable prices. And then Shirley, please have a seat. Okay, and then she's not alone today. She comes with her partners from STOQO. Okay, please give everyone, please give applause to Mr. Tri Ahmad Irfan. Okay, Irfan is an engineering lead at STOQO, and prior to STOQO, he worked at Twitter, so he must have a lot of experience in tech company. And then last but not least, we have also representative from Alpha JWC Ventures. Everyone please give applause for Kak Melina to come to the stage. Okay, Kak Melina is a vice president at Alpha JWC Ventures, and later we will learn from her why Alpha JWC Ventures give investment to STOQO. Okay, please welcome and have a good seat. Thank you so much. Okay, now we are going to start the coaching class, but before that, we are going to watch a video from YCSEA Learns.
My name is Claude Grunitsky, and this is Pitching Your Business Ideas for Investment. In this lesson, we will explore how to identify potential business partners, look at the key elements of a pitch, craft and deliver a pitch, and follow up. If you are serious about starting a new venture, you must demonstrate to potential business partners and investors that you are passionate about the idea and truly believe that the business can succeed. You must be willing to work hard, on weekends, and late into the night. You will show your investors that you can do what it takes to make your business thrive, knowing that profitability and growth will one day justify all the efforts. Although many businesses fail within the first year, many others succeed because their founders have drive and a great idea. They were able to rally a winning team and investors.
Okay, maybe we have some technical errors. Okay, we can start to watch the video.
My name is Claude Grunitsky, and this is Pitching Your Business Ideas for Investment. In this lesson, we will explore how to identify potential business partners, look at the key elements of a pitch, craft and deliver a pitch, and follow up. If you are serious about starting a new venture, you must demonstrate to potential business partners and investors that you are passionate about the idea and truly believe that the business can succeed. You must be willing to work hard, on weekends, and late into the night. You will show your investors that you can do what it takes to make your business thrive, knowing that profitability and growth will one day justify all the efforts. Although many businesses fail within the first year, many others succeed because their founders have drive and a great idea. They were able to rally a winning team and investors. How does an entrepreneur identify potential business partners? It is very important to choose business partners according to both skill set and personality. Explore your own skill sets. If you are passionate about technology and see yourself as more of an introvert, then you should choose business partners who are more extroverted. Partners who are willing to go out, meet customers, and engage in the marketplace. If you are not very organized, then it is crucial to add a business partner who is very detail-oriented and good at handling complex tasks, whether dealing with lawyers, accountants, or suppliers. It is also good to have at least one founding team member who knows how to handle investors and answer difficult financial questions. Still, for the business partnership to work well, you need more than just a balance in skill sets. You need to be relatively certain that your personalities will not clash. Too many businesses fail because of ego or personality mismatches. How can you find a good match in your business partners? By first getting to know your potential partner well. Make sure you have clearly assigned roles and responsibilities from the start. Set up a system that allows you to resolve differences amicably without fights or unnecessary arguments. Once the business plan is written, how does the entrepreneur craft a pitch? The pitch should be short, explaining the idea, the potential, and team members' expertise. The key is to convey why this business is worth investing in. The pitch should explain why the target customer is willing to pay for the product or service. It should explain what kind of value you will create for that customer. Once that value proposition is framed into numbers and full market potential quantified, the founding team should make 5-year sales and expense projections and come to the required investment amount. The objective of the pitch is to get an investor to commit capital to the business. What are the key elements of a pitch? A sophisticated investor will listen to your pitch and assess whether you understand the market and competition. In your pitch, you should focus on a single initial market and grow from there. If after your short pitch, the investor is convinced that there is something there, then you have succeeded in grabbing their attention and they will want to investigate further and review your full business plan. How to best deliver the pitch? It's really about getting to know the audience you are pitching to. If you're meeting one investor, then you will need to research them and know what kinds of companies he or she has invested in the past, and if they were successful. If, however, you are pitching to an audience of 12 people, you must first understand the decision-making process and figure out which audience members will have the greatest impact on the actual investment decision. Grab their attention and get them excited by showing them why your idea has the potential to change the market and lead to a consistently profitable business. How to follow up after the pitch? Don't be afraid to email them relentlessly. Walk them through your business plan. Remember, investors like persistent entrepreneurs, and everything you say will need to be backed up by numbers, research, and a plan. Don't be boring, and don't allow the investor to be distracted. Your job is to help them imagine what your company could one day become with their funding.
Okay, please give applause for the amazing and very insightful video. So here we learned that on how to pitch our business ideas to investors, and the key is you have to know the audience you are pitching to. And then how to know them, we need to research them and to build a good relationship with them. And then we also, as business actors, we also have to be specific on our market, and then we also need to explain and convince them why our business deserves an investment. And today we are going to learn more about these issues with our experts today from STOQO and also from Alpha JWC. Thank you so much for coming. How are you? Great. Okay, thank you so much. So to start our coaching class today, I will give the time for Mr. Lee and also Mr. Irfan to present their experience and also working in STOQO. Okay, please welcome.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you for having us here. I'm Shirley, as it is written on the slide there. So probably I'll just do a bit of introductions about myself. I'm right now handling commercial and development in STOQO. So just if some of you has not heard about STOQO, we basically focuses on servicing small micro business, F&B businesses. So you probably will know them better by Warteg and Warnas, so Warung Nasi. So what do we service them for? Basically, we provide the main needs for them, for them to run their business. 2 types of product, dry items, so basic items, cooking oil, rice and all that, and also fresh items, so veggies, eggs and all that. I'm basically taking care of the sourcing part of all of those items. So probably, we can just start the slide. All right. So this is basically the first part of the slide. I will basically share how did we actually start and how did I actually start in STOQO. So I'm actually not a co-founder, but I did join STOQO quite early back in the days when we were just 6 months old. So what would a 6 months old startup look like? Basically, we didn't have a proper office. We were basically based out of like a room that we turned into office. So it was basically a lot of uncertainties at that time. And what I want to highlight here is how did I actually, someone from corporate background, right? I was actually from corporations, and I actually venture into startups. So I can tell that it wasn't a really easy decision because, you know, just like any other millennials in this room probably, you always have, you know, those questions in your head asking about, you know, if I do join this company, I don't know what will this company be after 2 years or even after 1 year, right? We're doing something, it's startup, so we're doing something that is not proven before. So the questions that I have at that time was like, will I be wasting my time if something didn't happen right as we wanted it to be? So back then, I knew Aswin from McKinsey. So we were at McKinsey before, and one thing that actually helped me to make my decision at that time was because I asked myself so I told myself that I couldn't really get the best of everything, right? I know at every companies, whether it's startup or whether it's corporations, they have their fair share of difficulties. So more over here, because we are a startup and we are also wanting to do something with a social mission, of course it's more difficult. So, but then one thing that actually made my decision at that time was, so in STOQO, usually we'll have our problem-solving discussions. At that time, our team was very small. And that discussions will actually goes to like, you know, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. But I don't know why, after every that kind of sessions, I will never feel that tired. Of course, physically, I will be sleepy at 2 to 3 a.m., but I was never tired. And that makes me really sure that even if we are trying to do something really hard here, but we have a very good foundations, which is our people and our team. Yep. So just to relate to a bit of the pictures here, this was me when we first started our fresh business. So those are our first fresh hires. This was our fresh sorting center at that time. And this is us last week. So our team has grown quite a bit, and the previous sorting center has turned into like a more proper warehouse right now. Right, so I will then jump into the topic of gender roles and diversity in the team. Irfan, do you want to add something more on that? All right, so gender roles and diversity in the team. We'll probably talk more about this later, but I will zoom in on my team itself in STOQO. I'm actually quite lucky because the gender ratio between in my team is quite balanced, and reflecting about this topic when I was trying to prepare for this, there are 3 things that actually really gets to me, right? No matter how I would wanna think that, you know, female and males are equal, I think it's very important for us to embrace that there are basically striking differences between. Sometimes there are striking differences that is, you know, it's basically gender-specific traits. Like for example, I don't know why, but it's not confirmed, but it's basically a little bit confirmed, at least among my team. Usually the females are more better at, you know, looking at things into detail. But the important thing is number 2, right? Acknowledge that even if there are gender-specific traits that are significant, it is also important to acknowledge that every individual is unique. So, for example, even if a female stereotype is, females are better at multitasking, but I can say that for myself that I'm really bad at multitasking. So, only to acknowledge on number 1 and 2 is then we can actually, acknowledge that that females are different and there are different kind of commitment that we have to make. So, for example, we don't acknowledge that female have to, go through that life phase in their life, which they have to give birth and, took that long 3-month break, then will not be able to, be aware and provide them the best environment for them to grow. Yeah. This is part where this is the slide that I would like to highlight on how did we find our first customer. Couple of things to highlight here is our first customer or our focus right now didn't come just overnight. When I first started STOQO 2 years ago, we were actually servicing more like a modern restaurants. And then I was actually meeting up with a lot of food services distributors, many of them, and then and then we used to only sell basic dry items, so like cooking oils and rice and all that. How do we get to this point is just like the guy in the previous video just now, right? When you were first starting, it's very important to have hypothesis on what kind of business model or what kind of value propositions that you have for your customers. But what's more important is to validate those hypotheses. How do you validate? Is do not rely on the internet data that you get from Google or the internet, but do meet your real customers. So by those kind of deep interactions, then you can really get more valuable insights. So rather than relying on thousands of quantitative data from some reports that you find on the internet, talking to just 5 customers actually can get you more insightful data that will be able to let you iterate quickly and adjust your propositions or models or just any kind of things that you need to adjust to your customers. Boleh. I'll pass to Irfan.
Yeah, thank you, Shirley. So Shirley just explained a lot about the business part of STOQO, and I'll explain the mostly engineering part of STOQO. So I am Irfan. Actually, I started at STOQO around 2.5 years ago. I started out as a software engineer. So I am not the co-founder, but I met the co-founder back when the company is very small, like 4 or 5 people. So the co-founder, Anki, is from Amazon, and we have similar background with each other. So he worked in the US, and I also work in the US, but we decided to go back to Indonesia. And then we met here, and we actually want to do something for Indonesians. So that is what makes me very interesting to work with him. So in this picture, this is the first few people in our engineering team. So back then, me and Anki was the only full-time engineers there, and the other people are interns and designers. So we actually didn't start like in a fancy office or in like a big office, but in having like only a few people in the company, we started out without any office at all. So we will move from cafe to restaurants like all day. And then in June 2017, we ran a small kos-kosan in Senayan. So that was really like a humble beginning for the company. So now the company has grown to, I think, like more than 200 people, I guess, if we only count the full-time employees. But if we count all people in our payroll, including like drivers, salespeople, and our warehouse employees, I think we are close to 1,000 people. So all of this started in like a very small kos-kosan in Senayan. In order to grow that fast, especially to grow really, really fast, it is very important to be really careful in hiring the first few people in the company. So back then, our hiring criteria, not only for the engineering team, but for the whole company is first to find people with shared values and who believe in our mission. So me, Anki, Shirley, and Aswin, our CEO, all have like a really strong value and strong belief in the mission that Indonesians are able to do productive stuff. So instead of like seeing all of the inefficiency in the market and especially the first produce supply chain, we strive to make everything more efficient and productive. So that is like the shared values and shared belief that we all have. If we start that way, I think it will be easy if like it will be very easy to overcome like any obstacles we found along the way because we have the fundamental belief in our mission. And the third thing is we also hire people with good fundamental, especially for people in the engineering team. Sometimes they all like glorify the latest technology or like specific frameworks or programming language, but I think back then we really believed that in order to be a good software engineer, which in turn build a really good product, we all need to have like strong fundamentals. For an engineer, the strong fundamental that we must have is problem-solving ability and computer science fundamentals, and also communications. So those three things will be more valuable than any specific frameworks or technologies that you have. And the last is, aside from like having a good fundamental, we also seek people who have like growth potential. So not only like you are good at what you do now, but we also want to know whether you will be really good at what you do or like even better in 1 or 2 years. Because basically when we hire people early in the company, we hire them not only for who they are right now, but for who they will be in the coming years as the company scale. So this is the story of our engineering team. So back then we started like a very small engineering team, but as the other teams get like larger, now we have almost 200 or like more than 200 full-time employees, but our engineering team is only 20 people. So the yellow part is like the engineering team growth, which is really lean, and the business team growth is like okay, but our customer growth is very significant. So in order for us, the small engineering team, to cater all of the customer needs and business needs, we focus on these three things. So in anything we do, we always focus on the business impact. So we make sure that the product we create, the technology we build, will help the business to move and scale forward. And we also ruthlessly prioritize. So like in any given like company, especially the growing ones, a lot of projects or lots of initiative will come to the engineering team, and we will need to like selectively choose what we will work on. So we did like ruthless prioritization on what we do because we only have like very limited resources. And we also give our team the freedom to contribute. So we don't really micromanage everybody, but we encourage everybody to help solve the problem that we face. I think it is better for the company and for the employees' well-being as well. And this is our evolution of like MVP or minimum viable product. So back then, of course, our vision is to be a tech company, right? But because we only have like very limited resources, it needs to come at multiple stages. Of course, back then when we started, we don't even have a mobile app. So our customers order through WhatsApp. And like lots of people question like, are you a really tech company? But we really believe that in order to solve a certain problem, we must start from the simplest solution. And back then, everything was manual and offline. We used WhatsApp, Microsoft Excel, and even like paper invoice. And then we digitize to Google Sheet. We also buy third-party software like CRM and ticketing system. And as we scale our engineering team and we have more resources, we started to productize all of the existing process into our own internal systems to better make the system more efficient, like delivery management system, warehouse management system, and like lots of app, like driver app and warehouse app. So this is the current state of STOQO right now. We have lots of apps being used internally by the salespeople, warehouse people, and drivers. I will show you like the screenshot later. And then the next stage will be to automate everything because STOQO right now is fairly offline, and I don't think we can scale that fast if everything is still being done in manual or offline manner. So we strive to make everything more automated, like automated sales assignment, routing, and even like automated warehouse process. And this is how technology plays an important part in our journey. So now we have three big main apps that we developed. First one is for customers. So back then when the customer wants to buy something from us, they need to use WhatsApp, but now they can use our Android app. So they can look for everything they need from this mobile app, and then we can just process and deliver to our customers the next day. So this eliminates lots of like manual and offline stuffs. So instead of them going to the market or communicating with their vendors through WhatsApp, they can order anything through our app. And then we also have our app for the salespeople. Back then, we have lots of, I think hundreds of salespeople going door to our customers to explain about STOQO and trying to offer them our products. And in managing their tasks and managing their workload, we help them to have a more efficient process by creating them an app. And they can see like which outlet they need to visit every day and whether the customer has already ordered. And through this app, they can manage their relationship with the customers. And then we also have an app for our drivers. We also have like, I think hundreds of drivers right now. Back then, everybody delivers everything in a manual way, so they only use like paper to look for where the customer is, but now they have an app to help them do deliveries. So all of the products that we use is essentially helping the business team to like move faster. So yeah, this is the core of why STOQO is now getting more into like technology. And yeah, I think that's it from me. Shirley, do you want to add? I think we can explain a bit about the last slide. So this is basically what the founding team really believes. So STOQO's mission is to empower the underserved to work for a better life. That is why we started serving small restaurants. So basically they are really underserved. Like Bukalapak, Tokopedia, and all of the big e-commerce company are catering like individuals, and I think they are mostly for consumptive purposes, right? But if we help the like small businesses, I think it will be. I feel like it is more noble to help them work for a better life, and also now we are also tapping into farmers as well. As you know that we have like around 50 million farmers in Indonesia, but we also know that they are like among the lowest educated and like the lowest income people in Indonesia. So we are trying to help them work for a better life through STOQO.
Okay, is it enough? Okay. Okay, thank you so much. And please everyone give applause for the amazing presentation from Shirley and also Irfan. It's amazing and very inspiring how they are trying to empower small businesses in Indonesia, especially a culinary business, which we call warung. Every day maybe we are going there for lunch, for dinner, just for every meal. And then before we start the talk show, I'd like to give some conclusion from these presentations. The first, I think what the very important parts from STOQO is gender diversity. As mentioned by Shirley before, it's very important how STOQO manage the balance between male and female employers, but also they also highlight the importance of gender-specific traits, that not all the works can be done by a female member, and also not all the work can be done by male members. So there are some jobs or job desks that gender-specific traits, and they really care about this so that they can get all the works well done. And then also with STOQO, as we've seen, the technology is the main core of STOQO. With technology, they helps Indonesian small businesses to grow and to develop. And also with the hiring the first team members, they really put attention to people who share similar values and then who have important, with good fundamentals and also possessing growth potentials. And now these people are shaping STOQO. So for us, the lesson learned is it's very important to pay attention to our first team members because they are the ones who will shape our company's culture. Okay, now I'd like to move to Melina. So your company Alpha JWC Ventures were giving investment to STOQO. My question is, why did Alpha JWC Ventures eventually invest in STOQO? Is there any important reasons that came into considerations?
Thanks, Uut. Yeah, so actually the interesting thing is that we are the first investor in STOQO back in 2017. And in fact, STOQO was also the first company or the first deal that I did when I first joined Alpha JWC back then. It was 2.5 years ago exactly. So few reasons why we invested in STOQO is quite simple. I would say it's around three. One is the people, and then the market, and the potential. And why we don't talk about numbers here? It's because as a first investor, actually when we know STOQO, when we get introduced to the founder back then, they literally has just very in the beginning of the stage. So the app was not even launched yet. Yeah, and the team was also very small, like I think around 10 back then. And also there's still a lot of plans, a lot of sketches that they were actually thinking or doing. So we purely invest, we back on the people, that's number one, and that's very important. The earlier the stage of investment that we do, we look into the founders, Aswin and Angki back then, and some of the key management. And we see that from the background perspective, from the credentials perspective, we believe that the founders would be able to not only build the company, but also to scale the company to the next level. So not only from 0 to 1, but also from 1 to 10. That's very important. And when we look into the team as well, we know that they come from complementary backgrounds. They also, we see them in terms of the character. They're driven, like how you see Shirley and Irfan here. And also we see that the team itself are very collaborative and have the high aspiration to make the company going to the next level. So in terms of the people, that's what we see and make us comfortable to invest in STOQO. Second one regarding the market and why this is also necessary for us to look into. It's because we see that STOQO as a B2B in the FMCG or perishable, non-perishable products, we see that number one is that Indonesia itself is a big FMCG consumer. That's in terms of the consumption number. Second, in terms of the agriculture, it's one of the biggest agriculture country in the world. And we believe that one day STOQO would also go into the agriculture, farmer business, as Irfan mentioned. Also, we see that the mission that they want to do, which is digitizing the restaurants, digitizing the wartegs, are something that would have a high demand in the market, and also something that would add values to the restaurant owners, to the warteg owners. So we see that the market in general is big back then, and also the potential, and that's what makes us also, okay, this is something that we want to do. And lastly is about the potential. Like we not only see that from the market, but we actually also see some of the potential actual proven business model. Like in China, there was a very similar business model that worked out very well. The name is Meichai. And when we research about STOQO, we also research about Meichai, and that we see that, okay, the trajectory would be feasible for STOQO to achieve that with the market size of Indonesia and the market potential of Indonesia, and also with the capability of the team. So yeah, all of the boxes tick, and we go to the STOQO.
Okay, so it's all about people, market, and also its potentials. Okay, so can I say that everyone can come to Alpha JWC Ventures even when they are on the early stage?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so you are welcoming all of us here. Okay, so we are going to explore more about this through our Mentimeter. So please, everyone here and also our friends in American Corners, you can connect with us on Mentimeter. Okay, please take your device and write down www.menti.com and use the code 467366. Okay, so we are going to start with the first question, the first statement. The importance of gender inclusivity in a business. Is it important, or is it just moderately important, or is it not important at all? Okay, it's moderately important, and then more on its importance. And then 1, 2 say it's not really important. And later we are going to explore about this with our speakers here. So I think it's a very issue today about gender inclusivity in company or in enterprises, right? Okay, now maybe we can start moving to our speakers. So I'd like to move to Irfan. What do you think about these Menti results? Maybe just briefly before I'm giving you the specific questions. Can you please give some comments?
Yeah, I think in overall like the business landscape, I think gender inclusivity is very important because like the population of the world is like basically 50-50. So it should be like it should be well represented in a company, but in the tech industry, especially for the engineers, it is very hard to achieve like 50% gender balance. So I think like even the top companies in the world have I think like 80% male, and that is like still the best, so because the supply of like female engineers is very scarce in Indonesia, but in outside of tech, I think it's way more important to achieve like 50-50.
Okay. So as one of the male leaders in STOQO, is there any female members in your team? And then how are you trying to encourage them to develop their skills in maybe in technology or in in startup itself?
Me or Shirley?
Yeah, it's your question
Oh,
for
okay.
you.
So we have 2 female designers, 3 engineers within a 20-person engineering team. So that is around like 80 to like 90%, 10 to 20% female. And we always encourage them to like be on par with everybody else.
Okay, so even in your tech team, you have a female member, so there is always a potential for female to join in tech teams.
Yeah, and so this is the thing that lots of companies get wrong. So in order to like have more female members, they believe that they need to lower their hiring bar, but I don't believe that is true. If we want to keep the bar high, you just need to look harder. Because there are lots of great female engineers out there. You just need to look harder.
Okay, I think we can move to the next question. Okay, before I'd like also to ask to Shirley. We know that especially in Indonesia, women are closely related to some stigma, stereotypes, like to be too sensitive, or we call it baper and stuff like that. And what do you think about this, and how you deal with these kind of issues as you are female leaders in your team? How do you deal with it in your daily basis and especially in workplace?
Right. So quite to the contrary to that beliefs, throughout the experience of me leading the team, I don't quite have experience, the level of sensitivity of a female is higher than a male. It's usually quite gender neutral. There are just some people who are like, more feeling-wise than logic-wise. So I would say that it's not quite apparent in my team, but I wouldn't say that it's it's not important for us to acknowledge, feelings, and also because usually sensitivity is driven by feelings, right? That's one of the things that is important for you to really know your team and in order for you to develop them.
That means that these stereotypes, it doesn't mean actually anything for the team, right? Okay, so we are now going to move to the next question. The next statement on the mentee. Okay, here is the statement. Making a prototype for the market is identical to a money-burning strategy. Do you agree or not? Is it true, or is it just a stereotype again in business? Mostly said yes. So I'd like to ask to Irfan about this result. As it's stated on the mentee, as we know that making a prototype is not cheap, it's quite expensive or maybe very expensive, and it's usually very tight with burning money. I'm curious about how STOQO get the fund from Alpha JWC to deal with the funding of prototype. Can you please explain to us about this?
I don't necessarily agree with this statement because at first we use WhatsApp for as a prototype, and WhatsApp is basically free. So yeah, we don't believe in that in the first place. And along in our journey, for at least 8 months, it is just me and Anki. So there is only 2 engineers working to build the engineering team. And we really believe that to make impact, you don't need to build like very complex solutions. We always start from the simpler one. And simpler ones usually means like cheaper. So I don't think it's money burning.
Okay, so we can avoid money burning with by simplifying the business itself. Can we say it like that?
Yeah, and the goal is still to help our customers and give impact to the business, and doesn't need to have like a very complex solution or like a very cutting edge app to achieve that.
Okay, so the next question is for Shirley. Just like startups in general, your product will always continue to evolve. So in the early stage, maybe the product is not perfect, so you are going to always evolve and improve your product. But the question is, how do you communicate to your market, to your public, if your product is yet on the early stage? How would you communicate it to them?
Right, so I think I will just continue on from Irfan's point just now. I think it's quite related. So back then when we first started, we used WhatsApp to actually reach out to our customers better. So we have an app, and then after that we have like a working apps, but still it's not very easy for customer to, you will assume that I have a product here, I have a nice apps, then this ibu-ibu warung will just use your apps to order vegetables. I would say that it will not be easy. So from business side, despite also communicating our products well, we also need to focus on the underlying value propositions or our mission to actually help these customers, right? We don't want to just, just push our product because we think that will help them, but we kind of forget that our main underlying objective is to eventually help them. So if they don't use your products, then I don't know why we built the product, right? So from business perspective, how do we actually help our product to not build wasted products? Usually we'll figure out ways on how to basically test out exactly what we want to offer manually. And then after that, for quite some time, we'll do pilot project and then we'll see the result, and then it will make a business statement to actually develop the product. So there are some controlled trial and errors mechanism for us to experiment on to remove that part.
Okay, so research is an important part of the communication strategy, and the more important maybe is the user experience rather than the project itself. Okay. The next question from this mentee to Melina. What kind of effort that Alpha JWC Ventures currently doing or have been doing to encourage more startups or new enterprise to come to Alpha and maybe propose to get some investments? Can you explain it to us?
Yeah, so a few ways how we do that. One of the ways is actually to collaborate in several events like this with at America, and also with some other accelerators, for example, out there, and also perhaps with the unicorns. So in that way, we could introduce ourselves as one of the early stage investors, and that we can definitely invest in a certain stage of the company. So from seed to Series B with a minimum ticket size of $500K US. So that's one. Also, we do a lot of communications and publications via media. So for our new investments, we communicate to the medias, like, for example, if you've heard like Kopi Kenangan, and then Gula, STOQO as well, TaniHub recently. So when we closed our investment, then we'd like to also announce as part of the publication of why we invest in this company, and also what we see in the sector, and what are our aspirations as a fund or investment vehicle. So that's second one. And we also always do our, because we believe that branding outside is one, but also how we build our own portfolio companies is also one powerful marketing tool. We proactively helped our founders in their hiring, in their communications, in their strategy, in their fundraising, so that our founders could also feel the value adds that we bring, and also can refer us to the fellow entrepreneurs, fellow founders, because referrals usually is one of the most powerful marketing tools.
So it's about collaboration and communications.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. So we are going to move to the last question from the Mentimeter. Okay, this is a statement. I want to buy social enterprise products because is it the social value that they offer, or the quality of their product, or both of them? Mostly choose both of them. Yeah, because these two factors are important in social enterprise. And that for this statement, I'd like to ask to Shirley. So how are you trying to avoid consumers buying product just because or out of pity, like pity buying? And how do you maintain the relationship with the customer?
All right, pity buying. Let me try to understand it in our perspective and context. So, because our main customers right now is B2B, right? Even if they are micro F&B outlets, they are actually quite price sensitive. So, in a way, they are. If we don't also stress on the quality of this product that we want to give them, right? And product here doesn't mean just the items that we deliver to them, but end-to-end service excellence. I don't think with just in the hope that they know that we want to help them, it wouldn't work. So both social value and also the quality of the product matters here. That means it's almost unlikely for our customers actually do pity buying, but they do sometimes. What we observe is sometimes they will tolerate from time to time bad quality of services, but that doesn't mean we can look at that with one eye, right? They are our customers. Even if we have the mission to help them, doesn't mean we put deprioritize on the quality of our services.
And then about the technology, I'd like to ask to Irfan, how do you make sure that your technology that you are developing in STOQO is continuously making an impact to your users?
This is a very good question. So as we believe in our company, the goal of the technology is not for like technology's sake, but to help our customers and to help our business forward. So we always prioritize on business impact. And to achieve that, we have like a very hardcore onboarding program for engineers. So for the engineers, like all of them without exception, needs to go to the warehouse to see like the real operations, like how the chili is being sorted, how the chickens is being stored, and all of the end-to-end process in the warehouse. Even we also ask them to like go along with the drivers at 2 a.m. in the morning to do deliveries, so that they get to see how the driver app is being used, to see like how is the experience of being a driver at STOQO. And we also encourage them to go with the salespeople as well to see our customer in real life and to have conversation with them. I think it boils down to like seeing the technology being used in the real world. So if you want to see like how your product impacts your customers, you need to see it with your own eyes. Like I don't think data or I don't think like numbers is enough to see that. And it also gives you like a certain kind of like satisfaction to see a lot of people are being helped by your technology.
Okay, so regarding the relationship, customer relationship, and also technology, people factor is very important, right? Okay, and then now the question to Melina. With more and more social enterprise in Indonesia rising and developing, we are seeing a good hope for startups industries in Indonesia. But in fact, we are always finding that these people, I mean the startups members or people who work in startups, they are still, some of them or maybe many of them are still lacking understanding of kinds of investment that they can get from investors. So the question is, can you please explain these kinds of investments that we can get from investors?
Sure. So actually I get these questions quite a lot. Like sebenarnya funding itu gimana sih? Or what kinds of funding available for new startups or new companies? I always explain it this way. So there are a few funding types, actually many, but the most common ones are three. One is angel investment. What is angel investment? It is basically investments from individuals. So, for example, you got an investment from your father, from your mother, parents, or from any of your relatives, or perhaps from your former boss, or perhaps from any of your network friends. That is considered an angel investment. Usually the criteria is that they took a very minor stake in the company, like 1 to 5%, maximum 10%, but it's quite rare. And then they give also certain amount of money for you to start your own business, or first perhaps prototype or until the launching of your business. So that is angel investment. And I would say it's good to get a strategic angel investment. So if it is not your trusted parties like relatives or friends, you can also get a strategic angel investment, meaning someone from certain corporations who can also bring values, bring you network in the business that you're building. So that's on the angel. Second is what we call venture debt. So venture debt is actually a form of funding in the form of loans. So loans or debt or liabilities means that this kind of funding is given to you. You're not required, actually you don't need to give any stake or equity, but you are required to pay back this debt. So this kind of funding is also quite common. And actually, I would suggest you to take this if you don't want to give any equity or percentage in your cap table. This is quite flexible, just that you need to make sure that you can repay the debt. Yeah. And then the last one is venture equity. And this is where we as a venture capital usually give this kind of funding. So what it means by venture equity is that we give certain amount of funding as well. Usually it's higher than angel because it's from institution. Like for example, I mentioned we give as minimum as 500K. And then we also take a certain stake in the company. Also minor, but higher than the angel investment. For example, for seed stage or pre-series A, it's usually around 20-25%, depending on the circumstance. And we give, for example, around 500K or 1 million, depending on the needs as well. So, and the kind of funding like this is usually done by venture capital or any kinds of accelerator. And yeah, to me, for this kind of funding, I would always suggest, even if you get this kind of much bigger funding and also you're willing to give equity for this round, I would always suggest companies to pick the investors very carefully. Because in any case, be it angel investment, be it venture equity, your investor, I always say, imagine this like a marriage. They will be with you like forever until you can kick them out from the cap table. So choose them wisely. Be sure what we need, be sure what you need in the current stage of your business, and be sure what they can provide based on what you need. So yeah, This is basically the most common types of funding.
So, okay, there are three types of investments: angel investment, venture debt, and also venture equity. Okay, it's a very a new insight for us. So maybe after this, we are not no longer questioning what kind of investment. So we can choose wise which kind of investment that we want to have in our enterprise. Okay, so that's all for the Mentimeters questions. Now I'd like to open for the Q&A sessions. For audience here, you can give questions to our speakers, and also from for our friends in American Corners, you can also ask to all the speakers here. So we are going to answer your questions. Okay, now for the first opportunity, I'd like to offer it to our friends in American Corners. Okay, maybe from Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta or Untan. Is there anyone want to ask some questions? Hello? No, from UMY? Okay, from Untan. Okay, okay. Please mention your name and then please mention your questions. Okay, hello.
Hello.
Okay, yeah. What's your name?
My name is Joharyandi.
Haryadi.
I'm from
Okay.
University of Tanjung Pura.
Thank you.
And
Your question?
at the last, I heard that Mr. Irfan said that there is a problem solving, especially for communication. It is in fact to how we can take the what is that business, and I asked to Mr. Irfan how about that, and can Mr. Irfan, can you tell me more detail about that? Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you. So the question is about technology and communications. So he said that he heard from you about problem solving in engineering and also in communications. Can you please explain further about this?
So if I get the question correctly, it's about problem solving and communications in engineering, right? So I think problem solving is very important, not only in engineering, but all cases as well. But in engineering specifically, we as a software engineer, we see that technology is just a tool to solve problems, right? So the form can be anything, like it can be an app, it can be a backend system, it can be a web dashboard or Internet of Things, but the goal is still the same. It is to solve problems in the business or the problems that our users might have. So basically, if we see that technology is just a tool, we need to figure out, right, how can this tool help as many people as possible? And that is how problem solving comes to mind. So like, for example, at STOQO, we have the problem of, we have like thousands of deliveries and hundreds of drivers. So how do we select like which orders go to which drivers? And that is a fundamentally challenging issue if we calculate everything by hand. So that is why we create an algorithm to do that. So that is like one of the example of problem solving through technology. And in communications, I think it's also important as well. As a software engineer who build product, the customers will be other people, right? And we need to communicate really well to other people so that we know like what problems are they having, like whether the product that we use will help them. So it is very important to like understand other people and also like make sure that what you are saying and what you are building actually helps other people. So that is how communications come to play.
Okay, so here once again, to be customer-centric is very important.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I hope this answers the questions. Now we are going to receive the second questions, also from American Corners, maybe from UMY or from Untan again. Okay, from Untan. Okay. Please mention your name and then later you can give the questions. Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Dupami Sukma.
Okay, Sukma. And then your questions?
If we are just start a business, how do we attract customers to buy regularly our product?
Okay. So to whom is your questions? To whom do you ask your questions?
Fairly.
Okay, to Sally. The question is, how do we attract consumers in the early stage of our business?
Hello, thank you Sukma for the question. So basically, how do we attract customers to buy the products, right? So a lot of marketing will be in play here, just like normal. So just because we are definitely delivering something backed by technology doesn't mean it's have to be significantly different than, you know, offering any other different products that we have in the market. So a lot of, again, the same theme here is to be as customer-centric as possible, meet your customer. Sometimes you'll have hypotheses, so to just give concrete examples, right? We used to have 5,000 different SKUs that we have listed in STOQO apps. So that ranges from just random brands of margarines, and then we also have cigarettes at some point because we just don't know what we don't know, right? We have hypothesis on this is our customer, so this is exactly what they need. But without proper communications, without proper, you know, meeting the customers and offer them and really see exactly real data. So just listing them or just, you know, asking them, like, for example, if I sell this, would you buy it? People will tend to, you know, just say or answer your questions the way they will think that you will want to hear. But if you really, like for example, in the case of STOQO, we actually do at an extent, to an extent where we actually list the items, have it available for them to buy, and when there's no sales, that itself is data that you actually need to learn from.
So it's about meeting your customer. So if you have a product, what you have to do is to communicate to your customers, so then they will be attracted to buy. Okay. Now we are moving to the third questions. Maybe, okay, from Untan again. Okay, thank you so much, Untan, for the very active participations in today's coaching class. So maybe later we are going to move to UMY. Okay, hello, what's your name?
Hi, good afternoon there.
Good afternoon.
So my name is Desi Dasari. I'm from Tanjung Pura University.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to give a question for Mrs. Shirley and Mrs. Melina.
Okay.
Well, as a female person, what is your motivation to start a business first? And the second is, we always hear that there is always stereotypes say that women can't do the men's jobs, right? Right? We always hear that. So how you overcome and how you deal with the problems that comes to you related to the gender things or something? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Desi. Do you get the questions? I think it's quite clear, so you can just directly answer. It's about your motivation to start a business and how, again, how do you deal with this kind of stereotype that is very pervasive, especially in Indonesia?
All right, I'll probably start with the first one. So I'm actually, I'm not a co-founder of STOQO, but I did join STOQO quite early in the day. So at that time, it was almost like being an entrepreneur myself, because it was just basically without proper job descriptions and all that. So what gets me to that is basically my own personal motivation, basically. I was always insecure about, you know, trying to know whether I can actually be independent when, you know, starting something. it's very different. It's very different from having like a proper job descriptions, job title. So basically everything is laid out for you clearly, right? Day to day you're responsible for this and that. But when I first joined STOQO, there was no such thing as job description. So there was only mission and also the objective of the company. And basically, as one of the early team members, then you will need to be first translated according to your scope of the department. Second, then the team development part, right? Team building and team development part. That is also not easy. So these are the personal motivations that I actually want to prove that executions and also building something from scratch can also be done.
So it's like you are trying to believe in uncertainty and challenge yourself yourself to solve this. Okay, and then maybe the second question before we move to Melina. About this stereotype that women cannot do the man's job. What do you think?
I think us being women, right? We always have the choice not to live to this kind of norms, right? Norms are there, but we always have options to basically even be the example of the otherwise. One, be example, or second, creating the environment or creating a working space that can actually support women to live beyond that norms. So example in this case is one of our main core team members in STOQO is actually a female. And one of the challenging things that we are actually facing is, she was when she joined us, she actually needed to took a maternity leave. So, just being human, will think that we might possibly consider other candidates, because for someone in the leadership holding a very important role, you might consider that absence, that long absence, will actually cause a slowdown in business, especially in a bootstrap startup that, even 2 to 3 months of operation is very important to us. But if we don't start that from ourselves to actually, just break the norms and say that it's fine. It is the job of the employer, it's the job of the other team members to actually provide the support that it is needed for that team member to actually strive, despite everything that she has every right to live her female part of her life.
And what about Melina? What would you say about this statement?
So I would say I don't buy that personally, even though I do acknowledge that there are some considerations that we need to think about when, like Shirley mentioned, for example, assigning roles to female to certain types of categories. Yeah. One of the considerations that usually we think about is, one is, in terms of the maternity leave or like personal plans. Usually, yes, female to have some needs in that. Like also even in some of our companies now, I'm glad to see that the company actually grant permission for period leave. So once in a month, any female employee is given 1 to 2 days of period leave. So, and also like other things, like for example, working moms, we do see the need to give them more, more of a work-life balance to also take care of the kids. So I would say it is not right if a female cannot do what men can do, but there are some considerations that we need to make on that. And from our firm perspective, we are willing to do that. I'm glad to see how the firm leaders have been treating me as one of the female employee, and also how they have been treating the female founders or female C-levels as well. So that's a very good one. And also, another considerations that we see in the female roles is that it's not only the sort of the permissions that we need to give them in this kind of role, in this kind of situations, but we also see the importance of having female actually, and as part of the key management team or, if possible, co-founding team, because female usually can also give different kinds of perspectives from the consumer point of view. For example, if STOQO, one of the key management is a female, then you might also be able to give some perspective of why the consumers would choose this instead of this, because most of the consumers are actually moms as well. So that's another thing that we also see female are very good at.
So, okay, so maybe the consideration is, we can say it human considerations, because as a human we have basic needs that we have to meet, right? Okay, now we are moving to the next questions. I think we got questions from UMY, right? Okay, thank you. What's your name?
Hello, my name is Aji.
Aji, okay.
I'm from English Education Department. So my question is, because as an education department, which is where for social department, is it possible for us to make a startup without any technological background? I mean, is it all right for all the founders or the social background students? Because we are struggling to build a website and those kind of things. So is there any platforms that make us ease, that provide us a lot of ease to make, at least a simple website, or kind of learning in coding or stuff like that?
Okay. Okay, thank you. Maybe do you ask it to Irfan?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, the question is to Irfan. Maybe you got the question. It's, is it possible for social background students to build a startup without any technological background?
I think to start out and probably scale your startup to like probably a mid-level stage, I think that is entirely possible without any tech background. Like you can use like third-party solutions like WhatsApp, and then if you just want to create an order management system, you can use like Typeform or Google Sheets, and all of those are available. But if you want to scale further, I think you need to have technology involved. And there are 3 ways to do that. First is for you to learn how to code and how to build product, which is like, I think very hard and time consuming to do. So I wouldn't suggest you to do it, but to focus on your business. But second one is to probably hire an outsourced firm. So you can probably hire a software house to help build your product, and that is entirely possible. And the third one is actually just find a business partner who actually understands tech background to help you build the product. And if you are really serious about this, I would suggest to pick the third option. So find a business partner who really understands and can build technology to help you to grow your business, especially if you really want to scale this further. But as a starting point, I don't think any tech background is needed in the first place.
Okay, so it's possible, but if someone wants to scale up, there is a need for collaborations. If you have you don't have any kind of tech background. Okay, we still have some times for questions and answers. Do we still have more questions from AMCORS? From Untan maybe? Okay, if not, I'd like to move to audience here. Anyone wants to ask to maybe Shirley or Irfan or Melina? Please raise your hands and mention your names. Okay. So later someone will give microphone if anyone wants to ask. Maybe from this side, anyone want to give some questions? Okay.
Hi, my name is Ade. I want to ask 2 questions for Shirley and Irfan. One is, what is your biggest challenge when you are first developing your business? And two, if you don't mind, share with us, what is your plan to grow and expand and scale up your business within the next 5 or 10 years from now? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ade. I think it's quite clear. So Cheryl or Irfan can just answer. Okay.
Hello. Thank you so much for the question. So I'll answer the first one. So the question was, how did we actually start the biggest challenge? The biggest challenge when we start, right? So as we know, being an entrepreneur, it's just, that means starting from scratch. There are just different parts of the business that you need to actually tackle at parallel at one point in time, right? So prioritization is key. And one of the things is that you need to acknowledge that we're all human and we have very limited capacity. So at that time, I was basically finding difficulties on doing my first hiring because I was looking for this ideal, candidate that can actually take all of the marks, tick all of the checklists that I needed for the candidate. So someone who basically have the values of STOQO, and then someone who has the passion in agriculture because we were starting the fresh business part of our journey, and then someone who can also strategize and be structured in their thinking. So I was stuck quite a bit because I met a lot of people and they basically sometimes take only one or two of that checklist. Then I realized that I really need to prioritize, right? That kind of ideal candidate probably exists, but it will take a long time for you to find that person. And in a bootstrap startup, one thing that you don't have much is time. So at that time, I prioritize and kind of reflect what kind of skill that I really need in complement to myself, right? So I decided that, one thing that I can really have much, that I cannot really do anything about is the background in agriculture. So, and then second, I was also quite slow if I were to do every bits of executions by myself. So at that time, I basically split into, even that kind of two checklists, I split into two people, and immediately after, was on hold for some time, we were managed to onboard our first team, and we basically managed to kick off. And when we kick off, then that's where the real data coming in.
The next questions will be answered by Irfan.
Yeah, I think I can answer the second question. So the question is about what is our plan to scale further our business in like 5 to 10 years. So this is like a very straight out question, but I think our plan is quite clear. Now, STOQO only serves Jabodetabek area, so Jakarta, Depok, Bekasi, and Tangerang. And in the coming months, we want to scale to other cities, including like all over Jawa, Bali. And then we also want to expand to other parts of Indonesia, like Sumatra, Kalimantan, and other places. And beyond that, we probably want to do regional expansion as well, like to the whole Southeast Asian market. I think the landscape is quite similar with what we have here in Indonesia. That is for the regional expansion part. And then probably we will also tap into other segments as well. Now we only cater to small, medium restaurants, but what we sell is the same, right? We sell vegetables and other stuffs related to the food industry. So we want to probably tap into consumers as well. But after the core business is strong. So our core business right now is to deliver vegetables on time with like cheap price. If we can nail that, I think we can expand to consumers as well. So I think first is regional expansion. Second is to tap into other markets. Yes, probably B2C or B2B2C or yeah, anything related to individual consumers.
Okay, I hope this answers your questions. Okay, we have one more questions, maybe from Amcors. I heard we have one more questions from UMY. Okay, hello, what's your name?
My name is Siti Aziza.
Sorry?
My name is
Pardon? Siti, okay. Siti Aziza, okay. Okay, what is your questions?
My question is, speakers, could you tell me how the government policy supports startup companies? And is there any bad impact of this policy? Thank you.
Okay, okay, I got your questions. It's about the government support for startups. Maybe anyone wants to comment? I think it's just a general question, so anyone can answer. Maybe from Alpha.
Okay, I would say I'm glad to see that government nowadays have been more and more helpful to the tech startup ecosystem. They have done a few initiatives and also still ongoing progress of that. One of the initiatives is that if you ever heard Gerakan 1000 Startup, yeah, or Kiber, they do a lot of scouting into various regions in Indonesia, not only in Java, but also Sumatra, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, Papua, where they do socializations about what is tech startup, and then try to find out potential tech startups from there and offer potential supports for these startups. So that's number one. Also, second, to the funding providers as well, the government has made what we call Nexticorn, so the next Indonesian unicorn, whereby it's an annual event or biannual event conducted to invite VCs, investors to certain kind of venue, and they invite speakers from the unicorn founders to also showcase to the investors some of the potential startups for the investment. So that's our also second one. And also another one is that they also become more and more helpful in reviewing the tax requirements for startups and also the requirements for entity development or entity establishment. So they want to make sure that going forward, entity establishment, it doesn't take that much longer as it is currently at the moment. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of like various initiatives conducted by the government. And yeah, I'm personally quite proud of how they're quite thoughtful and helpful on that.
Okay, so we now have government supports in Indonesia. So don't hesitate to start a startup and join YCSE, of course. Okay, I think because we are running out of time, so this is the end of the Q&A sessions, which also the end of our talk show today. Thank you so much for all the speakers. I hope all the insight can inspire all of us here. So please everyone give one more applause to all our speakers today. Okay, thank you so much. Later we are going to have quizzes, but before that, I'd like to invite all the speakers to receive the token appreciations. Okay, so before that, we are going to just start the quiz. Since everyone is still active and also excited, I will have 3 questions for you and also for the American corners. I will give you some 3 questions. So for the American friends in American corners, please join us because we are going to send the gifts to you. Okay, let us start the quiz. The first one, the question is, how did STOQO do their initial ordering? Anyone from Amcors want to answer? How did STOQO initially do their ordering? Can anyone answer? Maybe if no one from course. Okay, from in America. Oh, sorry. Okay. So, please, from UMY? Okay. The question is, how did STOQO do their initial ordering? What's the answer?
The answer is from the Google Sheets, but before that, they do it from WhatsApp.
Okay.
But now,
okay. Is it correct? Okay, thank you. What's your name? Aziz, yes. Okay, congratulations. It's via WhatsApp and also Google Sheets. And then the next questions. Who is the customers of STOQO? From course, maybe? Who is the customers of STOQO? Okay, from UMY again. Maybe different person. Okay. What's your name? Agus? Okay, Warung. Is it correct? Okay, that's correct. Congratulations, Agung and Aziz. And then this is the last questions. Okay, it's about an investment that have been explained by Melina. Can you please mention just one type of investment? Because maybe if I ask you the 3 types, maybe you don't really remember. So I just ask you to mention one type of investment, maybe from course. So Melina explained to us that there are 3 kinds of investments. Okay, so no one. Then I'll give the opportunity for audience here to answer, please.
Angels, venture debt, venture capital. Venture
and she remembers all the 3 investments. Congratulations. Okay, so this is the end of our coaching class and our quiz. Thank you so much for your participations. Before the speakers receive the token of appreciation, please once again give a very wide applause for all the speakers here. Now I'd like to invite Shirley, Irfan, and Melina to come to the center of the stage to receive the token of appreciation. And then we are going to have a photo sessions together. Maybe someone can help us to, yeah. Thank you so much. Now all the speakers may leave the stage and go back to the seats. Once again, I'd like to thank you so much. And so this is the end of our coaching class today. So before I close our event today, I'd like to remind you to fill out the worksheet that we have provided to you. This is one of the requirements for you to join our YCSEA Academy 2.0. So please fill out the worksheets. But if you have no idea how to fill it, we can help you. So just chat us through campaign applications. Okay, and then, so I'd like to thank once again to our partners, YCSEA and then Alpha JWC Ventures, SIAP, our community partners, and also our media partners. And then this is the timeline again. You can still apply for YCSEA Academy 2.0 till January 15, 2020. So please prepare your application and we are receiving your application. Please join us because it's very amazing and rare opportunities for you. So don't miss it. So now I'd like to explain on how to apply. It's very easy. First step, you need to register to be a YCSEA member through this link. And then you need to download campaign applications. And then to submit your initiatives here. This is the steps by steps on the applications. And then the last one, please write down and join Be Sociopreneur campaign. If you still not sure on how to fill out or you still have more questions about this program, please just chat with us. We are here to help you. Okay. So now this is the end of our talk show today and the last coaching class. So unfortunately, we are not going to see you in at America for quite some time. But don't worry, because we are always going to update any information regarding YCSE on our campaign application. So please download and join Be Sociopreneur. Now I'd like to give it back to Kak Vivi. Thank you and goodbye everyone.
Oke, tepuk tangan terus sekali lagi. Terima kasih juga kepada semua speakers kita sudah sharing sama kita siang hari ini. Aku mau invite lagi kalau boleh. Semua speaker beserta MC-nya maju ke depan. Kita akan berfoto bersama Amkor dari UMY dan juga Amkor dari Untan. Silakan kita maju dulu ke depan. Kita akan berfoto bersama dulu. Oke, ini dari teman-teman dari UMY ya. Teman-teman UMY dulu Kak. Oke, jangan lupa berposer ya. Oke, teman-teman Untan jangan off dulu ya. Kita mau foto dulu setelah ini. Oke, lihat ke arah kamera. 1, 2, 3. Oke, next Amkor Untan ya. Terima kasih UMY. Oke, nah ayo pose. 1, lihat ke kamera. 1, 2, 3. Oke, terima kasih teman-teman semua yang sudah datang hari ini. Sampai ketemu lagi di acara Amerika selanjutnya.